assuming is gonna lead to consuming. You can see me being consumed by anger and all kind of stuff. So
hello everyone, welcome to our channel, the Parchment Fam, and welcome to another episode of Sit Down Sundays. And we are on episode 4, right?
yeah, so today we are on episode 4. Alright, if you're not keeping up with the numbers, go ahead and check back on the other 3 and catch up back up to episode 4. Alright, and my name is Kiran and this is...
My name is Jessica.
Alright, and welcome to our channel, the Parchment Fam again. Alright,
yes.
So now we have a topic for you today, which is 8 things to communicate better in your relationship. Alright?
Yes. We're going to give you 8 tips basically.
We're not going to say 8 ways, 8 tips.
8 tips
on how to communicate better with your partner.
Yes.
Alright, so we're not going to be elaborating too much on the tips. We're just going to jump right into them, and then we're gonna go along and talk about these together. Alright, and follow us in the comment section if you want to comment something, or
if you have any
something
tips
to suggest or share your thought or anything on there. Alright, so let's get into it.
Alright,
first one, number 1.
So the first one on the list, because we do have a list here, is do not make assumptions. Right?
Yeah, so
what do we mean by that?
That's all these things that we're gonna list today pretty much is very effective, you know.
Yes, and this is things that we have done before and things that we've learned along the way.
And things that we still do. So
yes, we're still learning. It's always a learning process.
And even when you learn, you still do.
Yes, your pride get the better of you, and you still do it sometimes.
Whether pride or anger or something get to you, and you still do what we know we're not supposed to. Alright? So we're gonna get into some of those.
Yes, so don't make assumptions. So basically don't assume what the other person is thinking, or don't assume that you are always right, and just don't make any form of assumption. Like a perfect example is, you know, we'll be having maybe something happen and you might be saying, I won't say anything to her because she's gonna react this way.
Yeah,
automatically
it's
assume
like you
that
are pretty much having a conversation by yourself and blaming it that on the other person, because it's like, you know, in your head you know how they're gonna respond or what they're gonna say before you even do it, and it might not play out that way, but you playing it out in your head.
You're playing it out in your head.
Yeah, your emotions start kicking and get tied to whatever you're thinking, and then that's gonna lead to you being angry for no reason.
Yes, you respond to it.
So
you start react to an imagination basically, or what you think the person is gonna do or say, and that's not good, right?
Yeah, so it's always best to reassure by pretty much communicating whatever you're thinking, or finding out whatever the other person is thinking.
Don't just assume that, because they did that the last time, don't think that they're gonna do it this time the same way.
Assuming is gonna lead to consuming. You can see me being consumed by anger and all kind of stuff. So
that's true.
Definitely wanna get that out, get that sorted out. Just forget imagination and deal with it reality way, you know.
Alright, so on to number 2. Ask open-ended questions. What we mean by that is not just sticking to yes or no.
Open-ended question definitely means there's either follow-up questions
or you just open the conversation basically. Yeah,
it could be follow-up questions.
I could give you an example.
That, or just elaborating on whatever the person asks.
Alright, so I'll give you an example. When I used to work in sales, they used to always say when a customer comes in, don't ask them closed-ended questions. So don't ask them. Yes, if you say okay, if you say to them, say, can I help you today? They're gonna just automatically say no, because that's how they're trained. But if you said so what brings you in today, right? No, the conversation has to go on, right? So that's what we mean by asking open-ended. Ask your partner open-ended question to get what you need to get out of them,
so
right?
Basically, open-ended questions gonna lead to clarification, information, and then you're gonna have analyzing. You know, from there you're gonna get whatever you wanna get, and there you can find a solution or analyze whatever the person.
But if you just ask a yes or no question, then it's just a yes or no, and you can't further communicate.
And yes or no most time don't solve a problem, you know. That's not gonna solve it most time, because I might ask you something. Me personally know what you told me no, right? but me personally, I know that's not what you
like,
wanted to say.
For example, you might say to me, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, and you're gonna say no.
No.
But I know something is wrong.
I might say yes. No, now you'd be like, "You alright?" I would say yes, but then something is wrong.
And you yourself know that something is wrong, and that person is sending a signal that you know definitely something is up, because that person is sending up that kind of signal to you that something is bothering them.
Wrong. So why not ask them?
Yeah, they're not telling you what's on their mind, but they know there's something on their mind, and that most times the closing question thing, when you ask a question and it's either yes or no.
Yes or no, yeah.
Majority of the time it's gonna make things worse, because that person have something bothering them.
And they now get exposed.
The way how they act towards you or they respond to you is definitely gonna have some kind of effect on you, and you know that is not their personality based on that their behavior.
Yeah. So just ask them exactly what's up, like what is going on with you, and that's
and then just resolve whatever you have to resolve from, move on from there.
Yep. So on to number 3, understand what your partner is saying when they're not speaking, right? So the non-verbal cues, that's a very big thing, especially for us as Jamaicans. We roll our eyes, we stop, we move our bodies, and
sometimes they use the teeth, sometimes they use the teeth, they might say something to you like
yes.
Yeah, and you know that's definitely when you're angry or something happened that you don't like, or somebody turn you up by doing something that you don't like, or something. That is how you respond. So
definitely you have to understand and understanding the person is key to this, because you might, if you don't understand your partner and understand that, okay, when our face look a certain way that she's upset, then you won't understand what is going on, because not every time someone is gonna come to you and just blurt out everything, you know, they give gestures and
there's
stuff
times
like that.
when sometimes a person might actually not say something to you, but they need your attention. So you're gonna have to know how to do that.
And they're gonna do stuff to get your attention too.
Sometimes they might not wanna do stuff to get your attention either. They might look away. They need your attention and they look away, but sometimes it's gonna take a while for you to learn that person.
It comes after
a while. It takes time to understand.
It's not gonna come initially when you just start up the relationship. It's not possible.
It's something that comes over time.
It's something that you're gonna understand when the person not even speaking. You can understand what they're saying, right?
Yeah, or what they need.
It's like sometimes it just start flow. You know exactly. Say, okay, you need to do this when the person do a certain thing, right?
Yeah, it's just like you might come in. You might come in and you just walk inside the house and you see your partner face look away. Sometimes you can just look down as you know you forget your shoes or something, because they might not like wear the shoes
like
in the house.
Just
it
the eye might
simple.
say, the eye might say, you know, so you need to leave the shoes you have on your shoes.
You don't have to be something big. It can be something minor, but you definitely can read from there, no? So
that would be me. Those non-verbal cues, like why you have on your shoes sleeping at the house. Alright, so number 4. Listen attentively and effectively. There's a difference when you're hearing what someone is saying and when you're actually listening, right? Hearing is, for example, you're standing in the checkout line, and the person in front of you is talking. You're hearing what they're saying because you have an ear and you hear. But listening is you listening for hear exactly what they're talking about. You're attentively trying to pick up what they're saying, and you can actually go tell somebody else what they're saying and understand the whole conversation because you were listening. That's the difference. And it's the same thing with your partner, right?
Yeah, it's different because your partner might simply say, oh, I don't like my eggs burnt. No, you just like them half done or whatever.
Yeah.
Your partner, and there comes a time your partner say, you can look after an egg for me? And you do it the way how they don't like it. So they might say,
obviously
you really never listened to me the last time when I tell you so and so. So you hear it, but they did not listen. So there's nothing processed there.
Because listening, you're gonna act upon what you hear when you listen, basically.
And at the same time, it can become a norm where you actually hear and you don't listen, and that your partner is gonna pretty much get irritated. They might feel away, say, well, you're not listening to me when I talk, or you're not pay attention when I talk to you.
Women love to say that you're not listening to me, you're not paying any attention to me, or stuff like that.
Yeah, or something like that, or they might ask you to buy something, you buy blue when you know they like red, right? So they will say, oh really, they never listen to me till I don't like blue, red is my favorite color or something like that. So those are just simple things sometimes where you pretty much think don't matter, but it does matter.
Yeah, so, especially in this technological world. Say, for example, we're having a conversation and I'm here on my phone like this, scrolling through Facebook, and he's talking to me.
Yeah, and
I hear in what he said. I don't understand one thing that's going on.
You don't hear or you don't listen.
So I'm not listening.
Yeah, you don't say yeah, man. Because the ear is picking up something.
Yeah, you know, so what I
in the end, when I ask you about something that I said previously and you cannot repeat it, definitely you're gonna say so you wasn't listening to it. And then that is gonna put you in a mood that you probably don't even want to speak to that person for a period of time. You know, are certain things you just don't want to say to them because they're not listening.
They're not listening. So that's a key when you're and that's a key in any form of communication setting, listening effectively and attentively. All right. So number 5, don't play the blame game. I think that's one of our favorite game, right? We do play it, but it's not something that we do. I don't think you do it on purpose.
I wouldn't say blame game is a game. It's something serious. So
we call it a game. Yeah, people just say the blame game, but it's something serious, and we do it from time to time.
In a relationship, when certain things occur, it's a mutual thing between both persons. And if one person is gonna blame the other and the other blame the other,
it's your fault,
you're never gonna get it resolved because it's a blaming game and it's gonna keep on happening because you're gonna always say it's your fault, you know.
Yeah.
And you're gonna say it's my fault.
So then and I think one of the best thing in a relationship is when you're mature enough to acknowledge when you're wrong and come out and say I was wrong, and then work on what you did wrong and apologize for what you did wrong. I think that's one of the best things, you know, to move forward in a relationship. And you know what I hate the most is if we're having a conversation and I say, but you know you did so and so and so, and then you say, oh, but you do so and so. I'm like, it's just back and forth. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to point out someone's flaws so that you know you can work on them together. But then when you're going back and forth with, you know, oh, is you do this and you do that and you do this, and it's just
and the next thing again, and that lead me to another thing. We're probably not on the list, but it come up as you say, they're bringing up other things from the past. That can cause problem too. So if you definitely had an issue before and you work on it to get it resolved, just leave it in the past. Because if you bring it back up, that person is gonna get upset and then they're gonna think, well, you said they got past it when they didn't get past it because you keep on.
You already resolved it, so why you keep? Yeah, you can. That's a good point when you're communicating to you. You can't keep bringing up
things from the
stuff
past
that you have already. If it's never resolved, that's a difference. Obviously, if you keep bringing it up, then probably you still have an issue that needs to be resolved there.
Or you think you still have an effect on you or something.
Yeah, but if you already resolved it and in the past, you cannot bring the past in the future. Like, leave it there.
It's either you're discussing presently or nothing at all. Because if you keep on bringing up issues from the past, it's gonna just keep on bringing it's like we're like hurting up a wound, right?
Yeah, it's like digging a knife digging into a wound that is trying to heal.
It's like they say adding salt to the wound.
Yeah, like I hear that when you're telling someone something and then they're like, oh, you remember when you do so and so?
Yeah, you're bringing up stuff from the past as an excuse.
So you're
especially if you're gonna use it as an excuse.
Exactly for your behavior. Oh my gosh, and then the other person they can't stop. Why? Can you see how it can explode out of control?
Yeah.
So don't do it.
You definitely want to avoid that. Blame game and bringing up things from the past. Those two.
Alright, so number 6, or probably that's number 7 is over. You get a bonus one. Alright, so number 6, avoid sarcasm. So just say exactly what you want to say. Like, I think we all know what is sarcasm.
Straightforward. Just be straightforward.
Sometimes I know I'm a very sarcastic person, and sometimes I'm like trying to make the person feel bad by using sarcasm, like.
Yeah, and a lot of time it don't even make sense, because you're not getting anything out, you're not getting anything resolved. It's like you're just trying to make things worse when you do that, and to me that is very childish.
It's childish. It is childish. Like my father would call me the queen of sarcasm, because sometimes you would say something to him and I answer him in sarcasm, like you're not supposed to know that already. Like you're supposed to know that. That's why a lot of times
even me sometimes having a conversation, or me ask you something, me ask you something and you're being sarcastic. I just go one side and I don't say anything more, and I say, so why you turn your back, or why it's like you just turn you off completely. You just completely turn you off.
Sometimes we make our emotions and stuff like that get a bit better, but
just turn you off completely, and then
because in the area they're like, so why you asking? I already know that, and they start get all sarcastic and rude, and then
you better think twice sometimes before you respond, because we respond a lot of time can transpire to some way.
That is true.
Make it way out of proportion where it never need to reach in the first place.
Yep. And that's the thing with these tips. Like if you don't do them, then it just blow things up. Like
it's like a small thing can become the biggest thing.
Yes. Alright, we're almost done. Number 7. And this kind of go with sarcasm. Respond kindly. I think that one goes for you.
Yeah, so
right, you can explore on that one because that's kind of you, right?
I mean, everybody different. To me, sometimes I respond to something I might think is the best response, but everybody else find it offensive, or they find it rude, or they find it rude,
and that is why
angry.
I think it's, and that is why I think it's very important, not to cut you off, but to process things. Just say, oh, the person will take it. Like sometimes it just take a minute and process what you're saying or what you're about to say before you say it. So you can reformulate what you're saying in your head before it come out. Because sometimes stuff just come out as it come to your mind, it come out of your mouth, and the way you think it sometimes is not how it's supposed. Because me, sometimes the stuff for me thinking in my mind, if me never reformulate it another way, then it would have just blow up. Because then the other person will say, then why you talk to me like that, and everybody move right.
Yeah, it's just that some people definitely after that they stay out of your way because they think you don't like them. That's the reason why you respond to them like that or something. Yes. You don't have to necessarily be a partner. It can be anybody else. So just the way you respond sometimes. To me or to you sometimes it's pretty much you don't mean anything by it, but the other person take it away.
Yes.
You know, but
and some people have an anger issue too, you know.
I know a lot of people have anger issues, and to me sometimes it depends on your personality, because sometimes you might respond away and to you it's nothing, as I said before, but the other person take it like it's the worst thing, but you don't mean it. So it's like sometimes on the other hand, the person sometimes instead of reacting away, like just say, well, you never have to say that way, and
which is what in our cases, and I guess he's talking from his point of view, because he's like that. He would say something, it come out not nice, and me knowing him for a long time know that I'll be like, you know, that never sound right, you never have to say it that way, and then maybe I would say to him that maybe you could say it this way, and then he might say, you know, say, yeah, that sounds better for true. And that's the good thing with relationships. You're supposed to be able to help the other person grow in areas where they might not be as,
I wouldn't even say grow. It's
a form of growth, because you might not see it.
It's the way I was saying, I wouldn't see it as growth.
You know why I say that? Because other people, if it's more than one people that is seeing it as a problem, then it might just be something you're not conscious of.
It don't mean say it's not maturity. It don't mean say you need growth. You just need alteration.
But the reason why I say growth is growth in relationship overall,
it's not
right?
in relationship alone. It's the way how you communicate, right? I wouldn't say growth is the way of transform. Some form of transformation need to take place there. The way how you don't have to mean growth. Is, I would say, it's alteration, because it don't mean it's just like you have a pants, right? It's tight. I have a pants, it's slack. You alter it to make it a little slacker or loose.
I understand.
It doesn't mean that it's not a pants. It's still a pants, but you just need to alter it a little bit.
I understand that, but the reason
don't mean say it's growth or what.
Yeah, but when I say growth, you know, I'm not even talking just in this situation, like just in general. So,
in general.
So you know, the person have an anger
things.
problem. You are supposed to be able to tell them that, and you know, you can work on it together. So then there is growth. So that's what I mean in general. In your case, it's altering the behavior, but I look on it as overall growth. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just look at it as growth and maturity, right? From if you're used to do something a particular way and you've grown past that, so that's why I call it growth. So you probably call it a different word, but yes, so that is that. Respond kindly. And the last one is, don't be disrespectful and try avoid any sort of name calling. And
like some rude names and
kind
stuff.
Of self-explanatory.
Yes,
like you have a lot of, some people relationship flourish on that, what they call each other name.
To some people it's nothing. Some people take it as nothing because they're used to it.
And they do it to each other, right?
They do it to each other all the time.
But for us, we just think it's disrespectful. Certain things, certain names you don't call each other. Certain things they don't say to each other. They would and even the whole, being kind and all that, certain way you speak to someone can just straight up be disrespectful. Right? Because even certain times, certain things you might say to me, and you might say, oh, it might sound a certain way, you might, so yeah, just if you're whatever works for your relationship. So if in your relationship certain things matter, then it might be disrespectful if you go out of that. Like, so for example, a good perfect example, in some relationship, people might discuss their problems openly with their parents or friends and everybody involved in a decision making. In some relationship, it's like it's just between me and you, and it's disrespectful for you to go out of the relationship to go talk to somebody else. So for your relationship, it's gonna be different, but just try to be respectful when you're talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
So yes.
So you're trying to keep this real short, people, not trying to make this too long.
Yeah, so that's the last point.
So that was the last point. Hopefully you get something from this.
Yes.
You know. And pretty much just use up the comment section. Let us know what you think. If you have anything that we didn't implement in what we did today, and you have that you think we should add to it, you could just comment that, and we could definitely make a follow-up video.
Yeah, because there's a lot of communication.
Yeah,
tips, so.
And just use up the comment section. Alright, definitely would have fun doing that, reading the comments, responding. I do a follow-up video for you guys. Alright.
Yes.
So again, if you get this far, just hit the subscribe button. Please turn that notification bell on to get notified when we have the next upload. And this is the end of episode 4 of Sit Down Sundays. Alright?
Alright.
Thank you for watching again. Bye.
Bye.